currently the afternoon over here in Europe. I'm currently in Athens, Greece. I've been having an absolutely amazing week, viewing tons of the ancient mythological sites, getting inspired to help with this particular series. I went to Mount Phoenix, and that was where the council of the first democracies ever met. Some of the most legendary names in Athenian democracy gave their best speeches there. I also was able to visit the Acropolis, as well as the Keremikos, which was, I was able to look at all these kind of ancient curses that people used to bestow upon their enemies. We have an absolutely great stream for us today. We're going to be writing, a lot of writing, and then we're going to play some WoW. It's 5 o'clock in the afternoon for me here, like I said, usually right in the morning, so we'll see how our energy does. We've been doing really long live streams recently, really long from a writing perspective, long from a gaming perspective, which is great. It's just getting more reps, more time on camera, on stream, writing, which is really what this is all about. We are learning. This is a new channel, and we haven't even started to press on the growth engine just yet. We're really just streaming for those who already are familiar with EI Werner and the projects that I'm working on. But we are going to be making a major push, a major press on growth upcoming month in April. So stay tuned for that. And for the few of you who are here actually today, we're going to have a great stream and enjoy it as well. So we're going to do a little recap before we hop in. Today is Make Myth episode 06, and the title is One and Other, and you'll be able to see quite clearly why that is very soon. So Make Myth is a series that I'm running. It's 34 episodes long while I'm here in Athens, and we are going to be writing live our own cosmogonic myths, our own creation stories, and then we're going to play some video games to decompress and just hang out with the community. And remember that when it comes to this project, endurance is far greater than heroics. This is not about one viral video. This is not about finishing one myth. It's about finishing all 7. It's about showing up again and again on schedule and continuing to press forward on pursuing these dreams. And so this series is going to conclude on July 7th, 2026. Doesn't mean we're going to stop streaming, but it is going to end the Make Myth series, and we'll be able to reflect on all that we've accomplished. So we have some goals here. We haven't really done a great job on hitting any of them because we haven't been pressing on growth just yet, which is totally fine. We have some views, and everything is, as you can see, related to the number 7, which is incredibly important for us in our mythology. But the one thing to note is that we are starting to see these mythological sites, which was part of this draft, and we are getting a lot of writing done. And so even if from a channel and growth perspective, we're not necessarily thriving or experiencing a lot of growth, that's all right, because as long as we're writing and as long as we're seeing these mythological sites and having a good time and excited to come back on stream, then we are succeeding and we are winning. So let's do a little recap on the actual myths that we were writing, so that when we go into the mythology today, you will have a good understanding of exactly what we're writing. So we have these 7 cosmogonic myths that all create one compendium, and each story kind of takes us from before the beginning all the way to the emergence of humanity. And so the myths that we've already written is Once, the first one, which talks about how before the beginning there was just this primordial void, and how the sun and the planets emerged out of that. Then we start, Mother is the next myth that we worked on together in Make Myth 02, and that was all about how the earth is a distinctly feminine entity and the creation of her and of life. Her first 2 children are sons, they're brothers, and this is where we talked about the story Brother, which is about the origin of good and evil according to us. And ultimately, today we're going to be working on the project War, which is the 4th myth, and this myth is about how different, it's essentially evolution, it's natural selection, it's a war of forms that are created by this mother, by the brothers. And so without further ado, we're going to go ahead and head into the manuscript. Last time I felt that we did a little bit too much recap and didn't get right into the writing. So all of these, this is my official manuscript, including a bunch of these notes. We are not, this first round, we're just trying to get to the end, and then we're going to fully polish once all 7 myths are complete. It's quite difficult to actually, it's quite difficult to edit and polish for a fully refined element until you know exactly where you're going. So I'm trying to follow my own advice, which is to say, let's get to the end here and really try to get to the end and then see what we have and then make some really decisive decisions on the editing, on more of the style. But you are going to notice that there is a lot of poetic elements to this, and we are going to continue pressing on that, especially today. We need to have some of those poetic elements before we continue on. So I'm going to take 1 second here, take a sip of coffee, and then we'll get into the writing. Drinking coffee, it's 5 o'clock here, but we gotta have some energy for this beautiful writing stream that we're about to do. Okay, so war. What I think we should do is we're going to read back what we wrote together on Tuesday. We started this project on Tuesday, and we had absolutely nothing except for this outline down at the bottom, and we were able to get this far. I did not work on this at all. Since Tuesday, I do want to try to do a lot of this live. Sometimes I will be writing off stream, but mostly I am going to be trying to do the bulk of the writing live. So I think what we should do is read the myth as it is. I'm going to highlight issues that I think we should address today, and we'll take it from there. So here's the reading. From a seething tide of ice and salt, four-tongue forms four-fang, to tell that he foretold. From a coursing river of fire and stone, four-eye forms four-paw, to see that he foresaw. Four-paw prowls, hunts four-fang, until he prowls atop a spire. There, transfixed by sun splendor, four-fang swallows four-paw. From a coursing river of fire and stone, four-eye forms four-wing, to see that he foresaw. Four-wing flies, hunts four-fang, until he flies atop a spire. There, transfixed by sun splendor, four-fang swallows four-wing. From a coursing river of fire and stone, four-eye forms two-hand, to see that he foresaw. Two twins, one and other, hold one another. Neither survives without the other. One reaches, other grasps, one grasps, other reaches, until one reaches atop a spire. There, transfixed by sun splendor, four-fang swallows one. Other reaches, grasps, fang and fang, severs four-fang in two. One falls, reaches, grasps for other, but other's hands are full with fang and fang. One dies. Other is overcome by grief. You can see this is starting to not be as written well. Descends to the bottom of the spire. Sacrifices himself. Uses bones of one and blood of other to etch their story in fang and fang. So no one, so no other should so suffer. All right. So what are we talking about here, team? Let's walk through it. Essentially, Four-Eye and Four-Fang are these two competing brothers. One of them is a fiery core within the Earth, and the other is an icy, vibe within the moon. And they're creating avatars to fulfill their competing prophecies. And this creates an element of evolution where the different forms are fighting one another in order to survive and make sure that their prophecy is the one that actually comes true. So. From a seething tide of ice and salt. So this is where Four-Tongue is able to make his avatar, and his first avatar is Four-Fang. And I think I want to actually, I put in a note here, modified number of paws and wings. I think we actually do want to change the number of fangs here, and I think we're going to call him Three-Fang, just to distinguish him from the original. Three-Fang to tell that he foretold. I think this is good. I think that's actually quite strong. From a coursing river of fire and stone. This could be flame. We don't know. Let me think about that. Let me see synonyms for this. Ask AI. Synonyms for coursing. Just seeing while we're going through, we're just reviewing what we have, seeing what we like. Here, streaming, rushing, surging. None of those are that good. So we're going to keep coursing. 4i forms 4paw. I think we're going to make 4paw 6paw. I don't want them to be too similar to their actual to 4i and 4fang. I want those to be clearly distinct as the OG brothers who were born to mother and created that good and evil element. Okay, 4paw prowls, hunts 4fang. This is an element where I do want to make a change, I think. I want to make clear that 4wing and 4paw are taking, and 6paw, so we actually have to change this, are taking different routes. Let me just change all these. Are taking different routes in order to hunt 4fang, 3fang, and they are doing that. I want 6paw to go across to prowl across all the known, and I want 4wing to fly above all the unknown. And then you'll see why that comes together when we are talking about one and other here. So, let's ask Notion AI, change all instances of 4fang to 3fang, please. Give him a little smiley face. Why not? Why not be nice to our AI today? So I love Notion, and I also I don't use Notion AI for much except for to do formatting things like this, which is excellent. It's excellent at very simple executions like that. Although I use Claude when I am actually writing in AI. So when I'm actually working with AI, and you'll see how I use it because I use it every day, even including in my writing, primarily as like mostly a thesaurus, but you will see today, by the end of today, you'll for sure see me use Claude and how we use it in this incredibly original story in a very ethical way. So I also would like to change, please now change all instances of 4paw to 6paw. All right, so this is a change that we want to make, and this Notion AI will help us do it quite quickly instead of a Command F or something. You know, there's a lot of ways to do it, but I do find using AI is the easiest and do recommend it. I'm seeing that it didn't work. Oh shit! I think you mixed it up. You mixed it up. Change 4paw to. Okay, so there's an issue with Notion AI there. You got to check AI. I can hallucinate and it can definitely make a lot of mistakes. So across all known. This is important because it's going to tee us up a little bit later, so you'll see where we get the payoff for the all known. I'm not sure that this is exactly the language that we're going to end up with, but it is good enough for now. Here, there. He prowls until he prowls atop a spire. Yeah, that works. There, transfixed by sun splendor. I want to change the word transfixed to wrapped. And wrapped is quite an interesting word. It has to do with ecstasy and it has to do with like true euphoria, but it also has to do with like your attention is wrapped, right? You're consumed by it. And I think it's actually the perfect word here. And I was thinking about that over the weekend before we started streaming here, and I was looking forward to making that change. So now we have Three Fang follows Six Paw. So he gets to the top of the spire. He's transfixed. He's wrapped by Sun's splendor, and then that makes him vulnerable to being swallowed by Six Paw. And as you can see, we are using the present tense here, swallows, because when we talk about myths, we're not talking about a story that happened. We're talking about a story that happened, is happening, and will happen. Timeless truth. And in that case, we use the present tense. From a coursing river of fire and stone. So another avatar is going to be created now. 4-eye forms 4-wing to see that he foresaw. So here is, let's change all the 4-wing. Let's do 8 wings. Please change all 4 wings to 8. All 4-wing to 8-wing. Now, again, the reason why we're changing these numbers, there's a couple reasons, but one of them is specifically because we want 4-eye and foretelling. They're the ones who foresee and foretell to be very clearly their own thing. And by removing the number 4 from those other names, it's going to make it easier to understand. So from a coursing river, 4-eye forms forming. And I like from and for. You see how from and for there's a 1-letter transposition. I really love those. And you'll see we use a couple of those across these myths because they are interesting to me. They look very similar even if they sound very different. And I do think that it matters how words look on a page. Fonts matter and spelling matters, especially when it comes to names. And you'll see that here. So continuing on, 8-wing flies, hunts 3 fangs. So we need to do a mirroring here. Hunts 3 fang above all unknown. And you'll see where this gets a payoff until he flies atop a spire. They're wrapped, right? So we change that word. 3 fang swallows 8-wing. That sounds good, all right. And I do think splendor is the right word. So now we're gonna make another avatar here because it is we're going to keep trying, right? So 4-eye is not going to give up after this is natural selection. So the first 2 forms, the first 2 bodies didn't quite work, but now he's going to create a form that does work, and we'll see how that works. So from a coursing river of fire and stone, 4-eye forms 2-hand to 2-hand. I think it's twin 2-hand. It's got to be with an S there. 4-eye forms twin 2-hands to see that he foresaw. We can do a little repetition here. Twin 2-hands. One and other, so we're naming them. Hold one another. Neither survives without the other. So we're saying here is that we create new forms, right? And this one is instead of like 8-wing or 6 paw, we have twin 2-hands, and these are proto-humans, right? And they are going to they act in accordance with their nature, right? So 4-paw prowls. What number did I choose for paw? Sorry, I'm warming up. 6-paw prowls. 8-wing flies. And twin two hands, they act in accordance with their nature, and what they have is hands. And they act in accordance with their form, and so what they do is they hold one another, which is, I think, a beautiful image. And you can start to see the poetics that we're going to be attempting here, which is, one another, hold one another, right? And I do think that it's going to sound rather beautiful and create a nice poem, and ultimately we are looking to create some poetics here. Okay, hold one another, neither survives without the other. That sounds good. One reaches, other grasps, and this is where we actually get the payoff for the known and unknown that we're looking for. So we're going to say reaches. I think we actually want to start with grasp, so because he's going to start with the known, right? So one grasp, other reaches. I'm going to say known, unknown, and then we're going to say unknown, known. And what am I saying here? So I really believe this deeply in my soul, that in order to be in alignment, in order to be a human being and capture the spirit of our forms, we need to keep one hand in the known and one hand in the unknown. We need to be constantly moving in that way, and this allows them to traverse a bunch of distance, and it also demonstrates an emergence and a learning from the forms that came before, whereas six paw and eight wing pursued the known and unknowns respectively. In this case, we are ensuring that we have both here. And so until one reaches unknown, so they obviously are traveling distance, and then they get to the spire. What I'm trying to understand is, how do I make clear, give myself a little space, how do I make clear that both of them arrive, but only one can fit, right? So we can write it rough first and see if we need it. Until one and other although it makes sense, right? If you're alternating, only one is going to reach. If one is grasping and one is reaching, and other is reaching, this other grasping, you're gonna, the first person who's ahead is gonna reach that top spire first. And I don't think we actually need to say anything about that. All right. Man, I have to pee already from all the caffeine I'm drinking today, but we're gonna keep pushing. Until one reaches atop a spire, there, transfixed by sun splendor, we want to say wrapped. Three Fang swallows one. I like that. Other reaches, grasps. What I'm trying to say here is, actually, let's take a quick break, and we'll come back and we'll dive right into this. I think this is a good one to really break out. So I will BRB in 1 minute. right back into it after a quick bathroom break. Remind you where we were, which is we have just arrived. We had, so Four Eye and Four Tongue are competing brothers, right? They represent good and evil. And this is a recurring myth of the two brothers and the strife between them representing good and evil. But ultimately, in the myth before this, and if you need to go back, you can check it out. The good brother ends up as the molten fiery core in the center of Earth, and the bad brother ends up locked within the moon in like an icy cold moon up there. And from a seething tide of ice and salt, right? So from the moon, he's taking the ocean and he's stirring it up. He's creating an avatar to go fulfill his prophecy to essentially destroy the universe. Now, the other guy, Four Eye, the good brother, he's not just going to sit down and let that happen. So he forms his own avatars from a coursing river of fire and stone. However, the first two avatars that he has created, which are Six Paw and Eight Wing, one went across all the known, and gets to the top of the spire. And when they get to the top of the spire, they are wrapped by sun splendor. And in that moment of rapture, in that moment of vulnerability, Three Fang swallows them. And so this is the myth that we're writing is called War, and I'm calling it, it's essentially evolution. This is a natural selection period of how humans or proto-humans become the preferred form in order to fight the serpents that are created. And so after those first two forms fail, the Four Eye in the center of the core, he makes a new form, which is actually twin two hands. So it's two forms in one, and this is twin two hands, one and other, we call them, with capital O's. These are the official one and other, and they hold one another. And you can begin to see the poetics as we are aspiring, that we're aspiring for here. And we say neither survives without the other. They need each other, right? And so we're saying one grasp, other reaches, known, unknown. One reaches, other grasps, unknown, known. So I think this is clear. We're talking about how I think all humans should act in order to make progress, which is that you need to hold on to you need to grasp the known. You can't just, fly off the handle and go reach into the abyss without any understanding of who you are, where you are, and what you're doing. You need to grasp onto those things, but you also need to reach out into the unknown. But I do think from a poetics perspective, we should do it like this. And you can probably see why, because it goes one grasp, other reaches, one reaches, other grasps, known, unknown, unknown, known, right? And it has a nice rhythm to it. It's a little bit difficult to articulate why that sounds better, but it definitely does. So we follow a similar route where one reaches the top of spire, so he gets there, and he reaches, and only one can fit. There, he's wrapped by sun splendor as well, so he encounters and experiences the exact same thing that the other forms have done, and Three Fang swallows it. I wonder if we say 1-2 hand, but I think we actually we just say one. And then there's a reaction, right? So in this case, in all the other cases, the forms were alone, right? So they didn't have, once they were swallowed, they're fucked. There's no way, if, ands, or buts about it, there's no way for them to escape. But in this case, other is right below there. And so do I need to make that, I need to try to figure out how to articulate this sequence to the reader, to you, which is to say, Three Fang swallows one, but other's still there. Other reaches, grass for one. So I think this is actually quite a nice way to say it. we're coming up with here live, which is to say other reaches in grass, right, which is in their nature. For one, he's reaching for his homie, but what he ends up finding is two fangs, fang and fang, and severs three fang in two. And all of that. We need to make it clear. First off, we're originally calling him four fang. Now we're calling him three fang, so we need to consider if that has any options, if that has any implications, and I think it does. So let's work through it together. We have, I like this part, other reaches in grass. He's reaching for his homie, but he ends up grasping and reaching two fangs, which is fine. But I don't like this word severs. I think we want to say split. Do we say, is it in two? So you have a guy who's three fangs, you'd have two hands, you take two hands, you rip open three fang, and there's still one fang left over. So I'm not necessarily sure if that's fair to say that he splits them in two. He splits them in half, I think. And there's this idea that I really want to get across, is that from his stomach, things are going to pour out, right? So we need to accommodate that, and we're going to use this word, spilt, because of the one-letter transposition. We love one-letter transpositions here on the EI Warner YouTube channel, and the ones cosmogonic myths. In a one-letter transposition to C, you just have to move the L and the I. We find those quite interesting here. Let's give ourselves a new little paragraph, a new stanza here to work with. Other split three fang. From three fang spilt. You see that transposition coming in there. Let's get rid of this. It's mess. It's distracting me a little. Clean it up. From three fangs spilt for two, three paw. So I'm saying the ones that he originally, from the inside his belly come all the beasts that we kind of know, or similar beasts to the ones that we know. So he had swallowed these guys before. And now the forms are falling out of him, but they're a little bit different. And I wonder how different they are. Like, should they be? Are there two of these? I think there should be two of these. So two three paw, two four wing. One, right? So he falls out too. This is not perfect, but we need to write it down. Otherwise we can't wrestle it into reality. Okay, so he reaches up for his homie. He grabs 2 fangs of the 3 fangs. He splits 3 fang. From out inside of him, inside his belly, because he had swallowed these things, things spill, creatures spill, and they are derivations of the creatures that 3 Fang had already swallowed. So, those include, we had 6 paw before, so now we have 2 3 paw. We had 8 wing before, so now we have 2 4 wing, and 1. Okay. It gets a little complicated because I'm wondering if does he get to the top right when he splits him? If he does, then he's going to get wrapped by Sun's Splendor. And I'm not sure we're trying to think about the sequence. He gets up there, so he splits him, he's not getting wrapped just yet. Let's keep cruising. And 1. But the thing is, we still have 1 fang left over, right? And that fang, two twice scaled. It's quite complicated, the sequence, and we're trying to simplify it, but we have a lot of information that we need to articulate, which is that other rips him in half, a bunch of shit falls out, including the fact that 1 of the fangs is still left over, and that is still alive as like an evil entity. So it's rather complicated, but we're going to figure it out. So let's talk about the order with which we need to articulate this information, right? So he splits him, that's obviously the first one. Then they spill out, that's obviously the next thing. These things fall out. The creatures. I wonder if we go into the creatures or if we go into the fact of evil being created. It's kind of happening at the same time, where the remaining fang becomes another evil serpent called Twice Scaled, but when he splits him, let's say, I'm just gonna repeat this to show you what else comes out of him, right? And we'll see where it all goes. But let's just get it down. So let's say other split 3 fang. From 3 fangs spilt to Twice Scaled. Okay. Oh, I got it now. I'll explain in a sec. Let's go, team. We're getting some good writing done on stream. It's not negatively impacting my writing at all. I explain things out loud a little bit more, but which takes some time, but maybe even be helpful. And one. So what we're saying here is other reaches and grasps up, rips him in half, right? So three fingers ripped in half, he's holding a fang and a fang. From the original beast, three fang, things spill out of his belly that he had swallowed, right? But we're also saying that two twice scale comes out, and every single time that you split a serpent, two are gonna come out. And that is the nature of evil that we are learning here, but we, so from three fang spilled, two twice scaled, two three paw, two four wing, and one. Do we need the? I think a 1/1 could be kind of cool. So one is spills out of his. One spills out. It's interesting to be doing this live. You guys see what it's like. I'm wrestling with these like small words, these tight poems, but it's a lot of logic that you're trying to compress in, and it just takes time, effort, study. All right. So these beings spill out. One reaches grass for other. And this should mirror up here. Yeah, it does for other. So he reaches the grass for him, which is his nature, right? Obviously, they know that neither survives without the other, but the question is, why does he fail to catch him? There's two options. Option one, both of his hands are full with two fangs, right? So he has a fang and a fang. Option two is that he's wrapped by the sun, splendor, which is which mirrors the other forms that came before him, making other, pretty normal as far as forms go, and having similar behavior. Like he's not so different from one. And I think that's likely the case, because I can't imagine what would cause other to be immune to the rapture that the sun causes. It seems like all of the forms are experiencing that rapture, and other would not be immune to that. The only reason why I'm even considering the other option is that it's just a kind of cool idea that he couldn't catch his friend because both of his hands are full. Considering their nature is two hands, they have a unique element where in this case, before their hands were empty, and now in this case, they are full. So let's try it. So we could say, we'll try both ways. Let's get rid of this. This is an old note from last writing session, which was live on Tuesday. And of course, we will be going live again on Tuesday to finish the story before we move on to the next one, which is called Gate. Okay. But other is a sun's splendor, or other's hands are full of fang and fang. or both. The reason why it would be nice to say that his hands are full of Fang and Fang here is because it gives me two, I get two for the price of one as far as accomplishing moving the plot forward. Because I am going to have to articulate to the reader that the fangs are in others' hand. And if I can do it here, then I don't need to do it again in the next paragraph. At the same time, it's not working for me that other is immune to the sun's rapture at the top of the spire, whereas no other form has been beforehand. It doesn't feel like other has any unique properties that would result in other's immunization to the sun's splendor. And as such, I think we are going to try to actually do both. Let's try to do both. This is a good opportunity for AI. I want to ask it. I'll show you. I will show you how I'm going to use it. I'm always very transparent about my AI use, and I do use AI a lot to just talk through these different things. All right. So, writing live. This is the same project that we were working on last time. Okay, I'm working on the brother story. When others, and I've added to the project here. I've talked about this in the past. I don't have time right now to explain to you what the project looks like, but I added some files to it that have information about the story that it understands. Okay, I'm working on the brother story. When others severs Three Fang, there are two options for why he is unable to prevent one from falling and dying. One, he is wrapped by sun splendor. Two, his hands are full of Fang and Fang. The reason I like option one is that I can't imagine a scenario wherein other is immune to the rapture, all other forms are when they ascend to the top. The reason I like option two is that I want to articulate to the reader that others' hands are now full of Fang and Fang. And let's give it the exact words that we have here so far. Let's see what it says. And you don't have to use it. You could just ask it and see if it helps us with any brainstorming. It's saying, looking at your memory notes from a previous section of the rapture, the pinnacle was already flagged as universal, worth naming why that matters theologically, the rapture being inescapable, which makes one rather than a failure of others' character. Okay. It's saying clearly we need to make the forms just consistent with it, which I kind of agree with, so why not? let's keep it as it is. But other is wrapped. Is but the right word here? What are synonyms for the word but? And I'm not meaning tushy. Tushy. I think it's got to be yet. We've used it before. Yet, other is wrapped by sun's splendor. Now he falls, dies. How do I think I should say dies? I haven't thought about that. I've never had anything die yet, unless it was swallowed by a serpentine evil being. Is he broken? Is he... I think we can make him into bones, right? So let's say he becomes blood and bone. Okay. I think it is at the very least clear. He reaches and he grasps for his homie, but his homie is wrapped by sun's splendor, so he falls, and one becomes blood and bone. Now we gotta say, other is devastated. Let's try to use words we've already used. I don't want to introduce the word devastated yet. Maybe he weeps. Neither survive without the other, which just harkens back to the earlier part, and we'll read it back to him. Neither can survive without the other. Other weeps. Neither can survive without. We can clean that up. Neither survives without the other. I need him to come down the spire. What we're trying to say is he comes down and he performs a sort of ritual, right? He sacrifices himself, he uses his blood and one's bones to write their story. So no one, so no other should so suffer. That's where we're going. We're inventing writing here, team. We are inventing writing here, team. But I don't. The Sense Spire's okay. Weep Sweeps is working. So what do I still need to say? What is still left to articulate? Wanting to sense, right? So we have that. Here he sacrifices himself, that's fine. I need to know where he puts the fangs. I need to explain. Okay, so let me just put this here. Where they put the fangs. Fangs turn to staffs. Okay, that's not going to really help you guys understand. So. This is dog shit. So all right, let's take a quick break here, team. We'll come back. Will BRB. we are. We are back at the end of the story here. We had other reach up, and let me put this on silent. We had other reach up and split Three Fang. We had from inside the belly, one falls out. We have one reaching for other, but he can't grasp him because other is wrapped by Sun Splendor. He falls and falls to become blood and bone. Other weeps and weeps. He's pretty sad. Neither can. I don't know if we need this one. I feel like we want to keep it more emotional than practical, right? That's saying that there's some like prophetic element that prevents him from. If we had that, I'll just explain. If we kept this, it's a repetition from something we said earlier that neither can survive with the other. It makes it feel inevitable that he would have to die now, but I wanted to make it feel more emotional that he's doing the next things out of pain. So even though this is still true, we don't need to repeat it. Other weeps. Does he need to descend before he sacrifices? I'm not sure. But let's keep it going. Descends by other sacrifices himself. To etch the story of one and other. By the blood of one, by the bones of other etches their story. And Fang. But at some point I want these fangs to become stabs, I think. Once they're etched. Or maybe just in the next, when they're found, they can be called stabs. Let's try this. Turns Fang. So we're saying other comes down, sees it, and uses his blood and the bones of the other who just died. It's actually by the bones of one. It's just the sequence to make it sound right. we're getting it right as far as what's happening, but we are. It just doesn't sound good yet. So we're still wrestling with it. Let's try this. So that's their story. It's tough, team. We're just coming up with the order here. We have the right concepts, but we want it to sound good. He cries and cries. He goes down the spire. I don't think we need to send a spire here. We need to wrestle through this, team. We gotta figure it out today. There's no reason we can't. I need to declare kind of where he leaves them for them to be found, where he leaves the staffs to be found. I need to write some notes for myself, even if they don't fully make sense to y'all. Sorry about that, but I need to. Let's go H3 actually. like that. This before a spire. I like that. Okay. Other weaves. Weave sacrifices himself. By the bones of one, by the blood of other. This could work. It just doesn't have the rhythm yet, but it's going to. I know it's going to, and I just wonder if it's actually worth like trying all the options with you all live on stream. I think it is worth it. So buckle up, team. We're locking in on word choice and rhythm and order here. Gritty writing shit. All right. He weeps. He sacrifices himself. Uses the bones of one and the blood of other to etch in the fang and fang. Let's just use a shittier word here, but decided where we put the fangs turned to staff. What's the sequence? He's sad. He cries. He sacrifices himself. He takes his own blood. He takes the bones of one. He uses those to etch in the fangs the story of one another. When he does that, they're transformed into staffs. He leaves those staffs before a spire, so no one and no other should so suffer. Kind of works. Let's read it back. We need like an incantation rhythmic feel here. It's a very powerful moment. By the blood of one, by the bones of one, by the blood of other. He etches their story. He just he leaves the fang and fang that was turned to staff and staff before aspires to no one, so no other should so suffer. Kind of works. Let's read it back and highlight the parts that need work. That sounds good. So this is done. This is done. This is done. And this is not completely done. This is done. Or I'm still working on it. This is done for now. Okay. We can add new goals after. From a seething tide of ice and salt, four tongue forms three fang, to tell that he foretold. From a coursing river of fire and stone, four eye forms six paw, to see that he foresaw. Six paw prowls, hunts three fang. I don't know if we need the known here. Let's mark it down slow again, okay. From a seething tide of ice and salt, fourth tongue forms three fang to tell that he foretold. From a coursing river of fire and stone, four eye forms six paw to see that he foresaw. Six paw prowls. This is the part we don't know yet. Across all known, until he prowls atop a spire. There, wrapped by sun splendor, three fang swallows six paw. From a coursing river of fire and stone, four eye forms eight wings to see that he foresaw. Eight wing flies. Flies, as you were above all unknown. Okay. Let's just call it the known and the unknown. Instead of all. Flies, that's three fang. They're wrapped by sun splendor, three fang swallows, eight wing. I don't know if we need the here. We need the for the known, but matches syllables unknown and the known, so it's okay. Maintains the rhythm. I'm not sure we need this. I'm gonna remove it. Twin two hands, one another, hold one another, one grasps, other reaches, one reaches, other grasps. Slightly worse from rhythm, but it vastly improves the clarity, I think. reaches, grass for one, he reaches for his homie. Grass reaches, only Fang and Fang. Other splits. I like spilt, but it's past tense, right? We need to keep the tense consistent. 2 toy scale, 2 3 paw, 2 4 wing, and 1 1. Other splits 3 Fang from 3 Fang spills. Other splits 3 Fang from 3 Fang spills. 2 twice scaled, 2 3 paw, 2 4 wing, and 1 1. Has a nice cadence. I like that actually. 1 reaches grass, 4 other, yet other is wrapped by sun splendor. 1 falls. Falls to bone and bud. That's the best. Is that the best way to say this? The issue is, if we're including blood here, why does? No, it's okay. Other weeps, sacrifices himself. It'd be interesting if we use the mother's tears. Bones of wine, blood of mother, salt of mother, right? We could theoretically say. But I don't think that's it. No. Is now clear enough that it's transformed? I'm not sure. This whole sequence, I'm gonna need to revisit as far as just the order and rhythm. It's just clunky as hell with the story of. I don't like it. I'm gonna even make it orange. I really don't like it. Let's read all up from the top. Alright. From a seething tide of ice and salt, 4 tongue forms 3 fang to tell that he foretold. From a coursing river of fire and stone, 4 eye forms 6 paw to see that he foresaw. 6 paw prowls, hunts 3 fang across. Hunt 3 fang, till he prowls atop a spire. They pass up there, wrapped by sunspout, 3 fangs swallows 6 paw from a coursing river of fire and stone. 4 eye forms 8 wing to see that he foresaw. 8 wing flies, hunts 3 fang above unknown. Till he prowls atop a spire. There, wrapped by sun splendor, 3 fangs swallows 6 paw from a coursing river of fire and stone. 4 eye forms 8 wing to see that he foresaw. 8 wing flies, hunts 3 fang above unknown until he flies atop a spire. There, wrapped by sun splendor, 3 fangs swallows 8 wing. From a coursing river of fire and stone, 4 eye forms 22 hands to see that he foresaw. 22 hands, one and other hold one another, one grasps, other reaches, known, unknown, one reaches, other grasps, unknown, known. Until one reaches atop a spire, there, wrapped by sun splendor, 3 fangs swallows 1, other reaches, grasp for 1, grasp, reaches, only fang and fang. Other splits 3 fang, from 3 fang spills 2 twice scale, 2 3 paw, 2 full wing and 1 1 reaches grass for other, yet other is wrapped by sun splendor, 1 falls. Becomes blood and bone, other weeps, sacrifices himself by the bones of 1, by the blood of other. Fang and fang etched. With their story. Of these fang and fang, now staff and staff before aspire, so no one, so no other should so suffer. It's still clunky, but the bones and the blood of it are really good. Why is my camera all choppy? I just noticed that. This happened the other day too. I had to restart it. Let's check it on the live stream. Yeah, I'll fix that issue, but for now we will. Let me see. And feed is very clean and clear, but my camera Elgato is choppy. Last live stream as well. What do you think is happening? USB with the face cam. I didn't plug the camera into the hub. All right, I'm gonna fix this. We'll take a quick break here, Tim. still having some camera issues. It's a tiny bit choppy here. But it's not so bad. Is it so bad? I can't quite tell. Is it worth turning the camera off completely? Let's ride with it. It looks only a little choppy. Let's try to find a group and see what happens. This is a low-key stream. It's pretty bad. Let me see on my iPad. Let me keep it. We'll keep it. Oh, I'll keep it. All right. Let's find a group. This is a low-key stream. Very few people watching anyway. We can always clean it up. But we are not going to... let this stop us from having a little fun, having a little gaming fun. Do I want a +2 push? Seems a little low. I want to do like a 4 or 5 key. I'm going to turn the camera off. We'll just play. We'll do a little Mythic Plus with our camera off because this is, and I'll fix the issue by next time. That's why I'm glad we haven't started pushing on growth just yet. Let's just relax and have some fun, team. We had a good writing day today. Also, y'all are live. It's practically no one at youtube.com/EIWerner. Let's try to push some keys here, team. It's a bummer I had to turn my camera off because it was choppy. I really gotta fix that. I love the new Silver Moon City though, it's so beautiful. I like this evening time too. It's really nice. Where is Skyreach? Is that? I don't even know. Is that in Dragon House? I'm not sure. former really high level Mythic Plus tank, but I am still learning these new dungeons, so I'm not trying to push like super high keys yet. These lower keys, they show you the routes to help take, so I'm still learning them. If I haven't done it yet, I'm gonna do the sub 5 keys on all of them before I start pushing higher. The season is long. It's so interesting. You know, WoW players tend to grind super hard and push to get as much power as quickly as possible. But as a returning player right now, I'm just trying to have some fun and go kind of at my own pace. It's so easy to feel like you're falling behind in WoW, but realistically, it's just a video game and you're trying to play it and trying to rush through all the content. I understand why some people want to, and I used to be like that too, to try to get as powerful as possible relative to everyone else. But at this stage in my gaming career, I just don't feel that way, that I need to do that. All right, let's see if we can end up at Skyreach by just getting lucky with a guess on which one it is. I don't think it's Dragon Isles. So where do we think it is? Actually, I can Google. Okay, Sauron, Skyreach. Okay, here we go. Draenor, interesting. All right. On my way. It's been a minuto since I've been in my garrison. Holy shit. Are you down or are you up? Clicky cookie. So okay, we gotta go in. There's a look. This dungeon was kind of cool. I watched a video about how to do it, but I haven't done it myself yet. Love me a Healthstone, fam. All right, let's get into this. Or gods. We got this shit. Drop some cooldowns. Come on, guys, you can do it. Don't get knocked off. This looks like a place that we could definitely get knocked off. Looks like that guy just got knocked off. Lots of deaths already on the first pull. So let's see how this goes. I think we just needed to kick that, but it seems like nobody's kicking, except for me. How many deaths? We have 4 deaths already. Okay, so everybody just keeps dying. I'm not sure how. Let's go slow and steady for the rest of this while we're learning. It seems like these guys may be new to the dungeon as well. Can't complain because I am also new to the dungeon. Alright, we push. Keep it moving. You can see the timer on the right, so we have to beat it, but we also have to beat it in time. So that's why am I having trouble keeping aggro on this guy? Don't get hit. It's kind of tight, and there's all these little AoEs. I see where it's tough to watch your feet as a DPS there. No problem. I still think we can time this. It's a low key, haha. Looks like I really do have to just pull one pack at a time. I think the healing is low and the DPS is low. Like they're just not dying fast. And also the healing, like people are just dying left and right. So we will see. Come on. We can put our back up against this so we don't get knocked off. This looks gnarly. We're gonna just do one pack at a time here. Do have CDs though. Dude, this guy is having trouble healing me at one pack. It's a little rough. Is he holy or disc? Alright, they pulled more. I'm not sure that was a good idea. I'm not sure who pulled it, but we can do our best here. Dude, there's no kicks. I'm not going to leave the group though. I'm down to keep learning and trying. I'll try not to just tilt and leave groups also. Sometimes I obviously have. Not even one person kicking. I would like to abandon this one. We could go for another one. But people want to stay, so I'll stay. It's no problem for me. I'm down to finish it. There we go. Stun that guy, make sure he doesn't knock us off. I don't think we're going to time this, but I do want to learn, so I'm okay with this. Ranjit. Alright, let's see how this goes. If we're really struggling on like bosses and shit, then I'll drop, but otherwise I try to finish keys when I start them. I think you still get loot and everything's experience, and the season is long, right? So you learn as you go, and you can't learn just by watching videos. You gotta get in the dungeon and actually start doing it. What happens if I get hit by this thing that's following me? I don't remember, and I watched the video on this, but I don't remember. Alright, let's see how many people get hit by the tornadoes. I just watched pretty much everybody get hit. Okay, the Warlock at least is dodging. Oh, I get hit. I feel like this dungeon might be hard. When I was watching the video, there were some mechanics I didn't even really fully understand. Like on the last boss, there's this like egg thing. You have to like go right and then left. We'll have to try it ourselves. The key is just to remain an untiltable god. That's the key. The key to timing keys is to not tilt. I don't think we're going to time this, but that's all right with me. All right. Everybody's pretty much dead. No one's doing any of the mechanics correctly. Maybe I just solo the boss like a fucking blood DK god that I am. I can solo most things as a blood DK at this level. It just will take 5 hours. I think our group might be really bad. I can't quite tell, but we'll have to see. It wants me to go left, that's fine. We really can't do any dangerous pulls here. People don't kick, people don't really know what they're doing, including me, so we're just warming up. Nice. The Demon Hunter is fully kicking. He's a god. He's learned his lesson. I'm proud of him. We go left. So there's still 3 dungeons we haven't done yet. This is one of them that we haven't time to key on yet. This is our first time even being in here, ever. I didn't play what do I have to Draenor and what do I have to, probably have to kill this solar orb. Seems scary. Probably want to kill that. No one else seems to be targeting it, so I'm not necessarily sure, but since my camera cut out, I'll probably just do this key and try to figure out that camera problem. I'm really glad we're getting these problems out now before I start pressing on growth and trying to like share everything with different people, but it is a little bit frustrating. It feels like I take 2 steps forward and 1 step back with the stream, where I'm always kind of introducing new things and then things break, and I'm really good with tech, and it's still, you know, a little complicated because you just have to, it's tough to know. You know, my camera was working completely fine for 2+ hours, and then the last 2 streams it starts to get choppy towards the end, and I don't know why, but we'll figure it out. Alright, let's try this. Okay, I don't know how I lost the snap threat there, but we'll get it back. Got this threat back, all good. Hop out of the little thingy. Alright. I don't have Gorfian's Grass for this pull. It's all good. So we beat 1 boss. We have 3 more bosses. I want to see all the mechanics. Honestly, down to finish and not tilt. These black orbs, I don't fully understand. Increased mastery, increases lead, void pulsar orbs. Okay, it looks like it's actually a buff, not a debuff. Alright, buddy. Alright. So I think I need to point that at something if I remember the video, but I don't see what I have to point it at just yet. So we'll look. Okay, I think we need to point it at these thingies. I'm not sure. I don't think I'm supposed to be the one. I don't think I'm the one who's supposed to be blocking these. I'm not sure. But if in the video all the DPS was blocking them, not me. So let's see what happens if I can nail this over to this guy. Let's see what happens if this hits over here. Oh, that didn't. Okay, we didn't have an opportunity to see that there. But let's try it this time. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. I want to try to knock it into this guy. Okay. Oh, I missed. Fuck. I do want to see what that does. Oh no, actually I think maybe I pointed away. Yeah, you get that. Oh really, I'm just trying to learn right now, but okay, I think we just pointed away because if I'm in it, then I go right on top of them, then they'll take a bunch of damage and they'll squirm and they'll get out of the blocking the rays, and if they get out of blocking the rays, I think we're fucked. So that's where we're at. Okay. I don't think we're doing all the mechanics right, but I think this is a low enough key that we're okay. That's a little generous on the hitbox for hitting me. I thought I was out of it, but or gods. Alright, we hop out of this. Easy. Yeah, there's no way we time, but it's alright. Alright, we go up the stairs. Are we halfway through? Yeah, we have 50% of the way through. We've got 50% and 2 bosses done, so we're chilling. Oops, this guy's pulling some threat. I take it off him, no problem. There's a little lag there. It's concerning. Took a full second for my D&D to drop. Man, the camera getting choppy really tilts me. I put so much into getting the whole setup and for it to not have any issues, but then 2 days in a row, 2 streams in a row, it gave out on me. Okay, what are we doing? Oh, this guy seems like a bad guy. Let's go. All right, how do we get him down? Does he stay on the edge? Let's see. Is he a boss? Yeah, he's a boss. Okay. Oh, this is the one where I have to move the eggs, I think. Let me see. I didn't fully understand the mechanics on this when I watched the video, but it seems like he's not really doing anything so far. Oh, we have to kill this guy. Oh, this is the egg thing. Okay. And we need them not to fall on each other, right? But the DPS is the ones who have to drop in, I think. So then what happens? So we get this egg, this guy comes out, then what happens? I think I have to go stand next to the boss, otherwise we're gonna get fucked. Not quite sure. I wonder if next week's affixes are better for pushing or worse for pushing. What do we have right now? Pulsar and Lindormi's guidance. I don't fully know what that means. Is that what this is? Lindormi's guidance? Oh, Lindormi's guidance is I think the one that shows which mobs I need to kill, which is pretty helpful for me right now as I'm learning the dungeons, gotta say. can't say that I fully understand what was going on with those eggs over there, but I don't know if I have to do anything. See, this guy, he runs around. Do I taunt him? Like, I'm not really sure fully what's going on with that. I gotta watch the video again. You guys get to tune into some highly mediocre M+ gameplay, but we'll get better over the season. You know, we just kind of return to WoW. We don't really know what the fuck's going on. We're still learning. Everyone's so sweaty and try hard, and I do like to try hard, but at the beginning of the season, like, I gotta learn. You know, you can't just already know everything. That's not how life works. We have a really bad group, and we're still killing this, so it doesn't seem that hard. Some of these packs have been pretty gnarly, though. Like, that first pack was pretty gnarly. Oh, this is role play. This is let's see how our group does. Oops, do I die? Oh yeah, sick. All right. We're a learning team. Deaths Advance makes this easy, but I didn't quite understand what was going on, so at least everyone's down to just finish. Yeah, no. Like, we're all learning, so it's alright. Hopefully someone gets some loot. Hopefully that someone is me, but if anybody gets loot, regards. Alright, here we go. Okay, now we channel on this guy. What do we do? Okay, we go this way. None of us knew that we turned around there because none of us really understand what's going on. It's funny. Alright. Dude, if we somehow timed this even after all these deaths, that would be the most insane shot I've ever seen. How many deaths do we have? 13. That would be such a joke. We still have like 10 minutes left, which is pretty insane. I feel like this could be like a really easy dungeon if you just go slow. I mean, this timer seems like absurdly generous. We've died 13 times and we still have 10 minutes left. With one boss, 60%. But where are we going to get the other 40% of trash? I'm not really sure. But, oh, these guys don't have that buff that says that we're supposed to kill them. So maybe I was supposed to go the other way. But, fuck it. We got a kick. Oh, this guy needs repair. That's funny. He's got dead gear. Now we're really gonna be fucked. The funny, I really am just astonished that we're even have a chance to time this game, but so it goes. I guess these early keys just aren't that hard. On the time, I think they are trying to be generous and let people warm up to Mythic Plus. It's another death. That was kind of my fault, though. I didn't get snap threat very well. That was my fault. Hilarious that this guy's gear broke and he can't even do shit. This is a scuffed key, but we're got. These guys are not dying. We do no damage. Like, how long am I gonna be on this fucking pack? We do absolutely no damage. I gotta get these damage meters up. I wanna see who's really doing no damage. So 75. Let's see if we have enough percentage here. I'm not sure. I think if If we kill all three of these guys, maybe we will, I'm not sure. Six minutes left. I don't think we're gonna make it, but we definitely didn't deserve to make it, so that's fine by me. Alright, come on, homies. These guys are gonna accidentally butt pull, I guarantee it. So far, no. Look at us. But we're not going to time. Looking at this. Should we try to pull... yeah, let's try to pull big this next one. Just because otherwise there's zero chance that we time it. And if we do a huge pull here, then we have like 4 minutes on the boss. We could theoretically still time. Alright, fat pull here. We need to go big. Big Hellstone moment there. Use everything. We need a fucking... If we can't kill this group right now as a whole group, and we can't find these kicks, then there's zero chance. The key is completely over. I'm pulling you in, bro. We're going ham. We go hard. Alright. If we can kill this in the next minute, we'll have 3 minutes on the boss. And that's potentially enough time to kill a boss. I think this is more than 13% left, right? Big heals, big heals. Big damage. 96. 98, yeah, alright. Oh my god, if we time this, we actually have a shot. Holy shit. This is insane. What do I do? Oh, it's, the boss is already here. Okay. I don't know, but we actually have a shot. I gotta pull him over here. I remember this boss from the video. I pull him here, and then we have to save the guy from the ads. But if I pull him here, then it's a further pull, so we're in a better spot. Nice kick. You're a god. Demon Hunter's been on point with the kicks since I called him out, since I called the team out. So, Demon Hunter, if you happen to be watching this, thank you, my guy. Alright, so we have time. We just need a... Oh, fuck. Do we have a B-res? No. Okay, so now... We only have 2 DPS. This is tough. And how are we going to kill this guy with only 2 DPS up? Alright, I can use a cooldown now. You can't grip them, bro. Alright, 2.5 minutes, half of the health of the boss, 1 DPS down. Can we carry? Big damage, big damage, big damage. I did grip him, but it doesn't work. Two minutes, 5 million health. Can we do it? Oh no, we lost another DPS. This is so scuffed. I don't even know if this guy's attacking the right guy. Oh, we only have 1 DPS, so how are we going to... Does he just die if he gets taken off over the edge? If so, if they don't end up taking me over the edge, I can probably solo the boss. But if they take me over the edge, then I probably won't be able to solo it. Then I automatically die, then I can't solo it. Alright. It's just me and the healer now. That guy dies. Let's see if we can solo it. Could be kind of fun. If the bird doesn't take me, I can solo this guy. If the bird takes me and I automatically lose, then I automatically lose. But I don't think this guy can kill me. I think I'm too OP. I don't know what the purple means. I get flown off. Is there anything I can do about it? No. Oh, okay, so yeah, we automatically die. We're close enough to the end. We should just finish that. It's funny, mechanic. We're gonna hop off after this. With my, I was gonna do multiple keys, but with my camera not working, I really want to figure that out. It's really frustrating me. Man, this guy is so fucking lazy. He's not walking back. Gotta focus the guy who picks up our homies. The repair behind us. All right, let's roll. All right, let's see if we can do the mechanic this time. Oh, they're taking the guy. Don't let him go. Get him! Save him! Oh my god, our DPS is so low. This guy takes so long for these guys to kill. Alright, we killed that guy pretty fast, actually. I don't fully understand the mechanic on the third boss with the egg. Like, I just don't fully get that. Otherwise, I understand this dungeon now. Kill this guy, dude. Come on. Oh, he's dead. He's fucked. Dude, The amount of time that it takes these guys to do 700k damage is unfathomable. As a DPS, it's just unfathomable. Look at that. They literally can't even do it. Insane. Oh, they barely got him. We were 4 minutes over. We definitely didn't deserve to time that. Does anybody get loot on? All right, fam. I'm gonna hop off for a bit, fix my camera. Really great riding today, and appreciate you all. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you on Tuesday to finish up War and do some great gaming. Peace.